In the small town of Everwood, nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there was a quaint little cafe on Maple Street. This cafe, known simply as Maple Cafe, had been a cornerstone of the community for generations. Owned by a kind-hearted woman named Sarah, the cafe was a haven for townsfolk and travelers alike. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee and baked pastries wafted through the air, drawing people in with its comforting embrace. Sarah had inherited the cafe from her late grandmother, Clara, a woman known for her warmth and generosity. Clara always said, "This place isn't just a business. It's a home for everyone who walks through the door." Sarah took those words to heart, running the cafe with the same love and care her grandmother had. She knew every regular's name, their favorite drinks, and even their stories. Her ability to make everyone feel welcome was a gift, one that made Maple Cafe a cherished spot in Everwood. One chilly autumn day, Sarah was behind the counter preparing a batch of her famous cinnamon rolls when she noticed a young man sitting alone in the corner of the cafe. He had been coming in for the past week, always ordering the same black coffee and staring out the window with a distant look in his eyes. Intrigued and concerned, Sarah decided to approach him. "Hi there," she said with a warm smile. "I'm Sarah. I couldn't help but notice you've been coming in a lot lately. Would you mind if I joined you for a moment?" The young man looked up, surprised by her approach. "Oh, sure. I'm Jack." Sarah sat down across from him, noting the sadness in his eyes. "Nice to meet you, Jack. Is everything all right? You seem a bit down." Jack sighed, running a hand through his tousled hair. "It's just, I've been having a rough time lately. I moved here after losing my job in the previous town. 3 years ago, I lost my wife to cancer. I thought a change of scenery might help, but I'm still struggling to find my place and to see God in all this darkness." Sarah listened attentively, her heart going out to him. "I'm so sorry to hear that, Jack. Losing someone you love is incredibly hard, and starting over isn't easy. But I believe things can get better. Sometimes we just need a little help along the way." Jack nodded, appreciating her kindness. "Thanks, Sarah. I hope you're right." As they continued talking, Sarah learned more about Jack's background. "You used to drive 18-wheelers?" she asked, intrigued. "Yeah," Jack replied. "I drove for a company that went out of business. It's been tough finding work since then." Sarah's eyes lit up with an idea. "You know, I think I might be able to help. Why don't you come back tomorrow morning at about 8? I know someone who's looking to hire for his trucking company." Jack looked at her with a glimmer of hope. "Really? That would be amazing. Thank you, Sarah." The next morning, Jack arrived at the cafe promptly at 8. Sarah introduced him to Paul Wilson, a sturdy man with a kind smile. "Paul, this is Jack. Jack, this is Paul Wilson." Paul extended his hand. "Nice to meet you, Jack. Let's sit and chat for a bit." They talked for a while, Paul asking about Jack's experience and what he was looking for in a job. Jack felt a sense of relief as he spoke, feeling understood and hopeful for the first time in months. "Why don't you follow me to my work?" Paul finally said. "I'd like to show you around." Jack agreed, his curiosity piqued. They drove through the town and arrived at a large building with a sign that read Maple Trucking Company. Jack noticed a bunch of company cars but no 18-wheelers. Puzzled, Jack asked, "Mr. Wilson, where are all the trucks?" Paul chuckled. "We no longer need them. Our drivers now use company cars to go to the customer's place of business, and we have the freight beamed over to their location." Jack's eyes widened in amazement. "That's incredible. I've never heard of anything like it." Paul smiled. "It's a new system, and it's been working well for us. I think you'd fit right in here, Jack. How about we give it a try?" Jack felt a wave of gratitude and excitement. "I'd love to. Thank you, Mr. Wilson." Over the next few weeks, Jack settled into his new job at Maple Trucking Company. He quickly proved himself to be a hard worker, impressing Paul with his dedication and skill. Sarah, hearing from her dad about Jack's progress, felt a sense of pride and happiness. Jack continued visiting the cafe, and as he and Sarah got to know each other better, they began to spend more time together outside of work. He found that she, too, was a strong, dedicated Christian. They discovered a shared love for hiking and exploring the beautiful landscapes around Everwood. Their bond grew stronger, and soon they found themselves falling in love. One evening, as they sat on a bench overlooking the town, Jack took Sarah's hand. You know, Sarah, these past few years have been so hard. Losing my wife, struggling to find work. I felt so lost, but meeting you and finding this community has shown me that God's hand has been on my life all along. Even in the darkest times, He was guiding me here. So you've brought so much light into my life and into this community. I believe God has a plan for each of us, even when we can't see it. As Jack looked back over his journey, he felt a deep sense of peace and gratitude. He had found a new family in Everwood, a place where he belonged and where he could see God's love and guidance. The little cafe on Maple Street had become more than just a place to get coffee. It was a symbol of hope, kindness, and the power of community.